the answer is very specific this year, but up until this year, I think earlier in my career, I would always get rid of the mix bus and not work within those parameters. And part of what I was interested in maybe discussing today is just a bit more of a realistic thing about the freelancer and the creative world, which is for many years that worked, and then there was a period of my career for maybe 2 years, specifically 1 year, which was like last year, where I just dove way deep into just starting over on people's things, and I actually wound up losing a ton of gigs because of it, or just never hearing back on the email, like if they like the mix or not. And it was pretty heartbreaking. It was pretty difficult because one, you just want feedback. Give me tell me you don't like that, so we can start again. Because I'm very into starting over. I don't really, I'm not very precious about things. I don't take things that personally if you tell me you don't like it, but if you don't communicate, I just get confused. I think a lot of creatives are like that. Like, just give me something. It doesn't have to be positive all the time. And I think I lost a lot of records because I didn't work within the parameters that they were giving me. And I don't know if that's pure ego or just like the drive to want or to think I could improve upon something in my own way. And then, this year, starting with a few very exciting albums, one of which being Billie Eilish's album, when I put the stems into a clean Pro Tools session from Logic and then put Phineas's existing, Ozone 11 preset on, that made me feel way more confident that I was going to give them what they desired within the parameters that they started with, maintaining the vibe at hand. And I put my template on it and I tried to do it my own way, whatever my way was prior to this. And it was so clear on first, spacebar that with my template that existed up until February of this year and my mix bus, it started sounding more like me and less like Billie and Phineas. And that kind of shifted my entire perspective since February 4th, I think is when I started that. Around there. I haven't used a template since all year, and I haven't lost any projects. And I usually work now within the mix bus that's given. That being said, it's very different from the starting place, but I usually will work with. I will, delete some things, use others. Maybe there's some redundancies happening in saturations or over EQ, and I'll shift them more to where I would tend to EQ things or what tools I would use to maybe EQ. But mostly I'll just exist within their world because that's what they loved about it. Like, they made these decisions. That's the thing, if you're making decisions with that much limiting on, that's, like you said, it's dictating the groove. Sometimes, like I said earlier, I think it might be tightening the groove a little bit too much, and with less limiting we can relax it and make it feel more like how it was played or programmed, which I find like a lot of good results with. I'll change release times and characters of things that I think enhance the groove. That's the thing I pay attention to mostly. I think Tony was always like that. It's just, we're very groove-oriented people. We're definitely like space between the beat type people. I can do an overly dense pop mix if I need, where things just slam the entire time, but I don't prefer that style. I like more R&B. I like things that like make you want to dance or your hips move, or like, I'm just not trying to be like super uptight all the time. That's not my personality. It's like, obviously I take what I do really seriously, but mostly I just want to like have fun and bop around and dance around to all genres of music. So I do think I've gotten better results as a mixer using the existing, but I also think that I had a sweet spot in my career where I thought I was personally a better mixer, which is like straight ego to admit this, but I think I was doing better work at another time in one way where I think I was getting things to sound more like my aesthetic and how I want low end to feel. But I think I'm a better mixer now because I'm doing more what the artist and the client wants. So I think I'm getting more successful at maintaining relationships and giving a desired result to people, which makes me a better mixer, because that's our job. Our job is, we're in service. It's not a truly, purely creative position. I would say my brain is half technical, half creative, and I wind up existing more in like 60% technical, 40% creative. I think that's where, if I were to do the math, I exist more technically these days. And I find other ways to be creative, because that's not going to be, if that's the case, then that's not my pure expression of creativity. I do that other ways. I cook big feasts for people, and I don't use recipes, and I make my own, you know, I wake up in the morning with a recipe and I write it down and I try to cook it for a friend or something. Like, I have other ways to be creative, curating experiences for people, hosting. That's not, mixing isn't my pure creative outlet anymore, and I think it used to be. And I feel happier that way. I feel happier not like tying my full identity to the idea of like, I'm a mix engineer.